center to renew, to recover. So she went back to McKinsey in 2007 and put together this project to put all the interviews together and come out with the research about what this map is all about. And Joanna describes this as a centered leadership. At the center of the whole thing, centered leadership is about becoming aware of the mindsets and beliefs that drive us, and practicing the set of skills that allow us to go out and achieve that vision. Right? We still have so many people coming in. Welcome, everyone. So centered leadership starts with meaning, because meaning is the anchor, because it builds in our strength and helps us find and live into our purpose. Next comes framing. Framing and reframing, which is all about facing adversity and learning how to shift and adapt our mindsets and our behaviors to get the most out of a situation. The third is connecting. This is about establishing trust, inspiring others to trust us more, and build a community. After this comes engaging. Engaging is where the rubber meets the road. We own who we are. We stand up to what we believe in. We speak up, we lean in, lean out, take risk, and act. And finally, energizing. Energizing allows us to generate the positive energy. Notice that all the four, connecting, meaning, trust, engaging, it all comes back into energy. With self-renewing virtuous cycle, in the past, few of these trainings to men and women, participants have shared that they work very differently now, then they take actions differently, they make great things happen inside their company, and they did not think that this was possible before. So now it is our turn to imbibe these 5 leadership traits in us and make great things happen. Centered leadership is not a goal. It's not in our brains. It's about experiencing and building capabilities. So we have activity. So this workshop has activity guides which take us through the whole journey. But I'm giving a quick snapshot today and going through the 5 principles of centered leadership. That's meaning, framing, reframing, connecting, engaging, and energizing. So together, all these things have these are the 5 gateways that you can enter anywhere through to being a centered and successful leader. So the part 1 is meaning. What is meaning? Meaning is the anchor for centered leadership. It has 3 parts: happiness, strengths, and purpose. Happiness is the best form of fulfillment. This is what happens when you live into your strengths and do what truly engages you. The conditions that you are in, probably the size of the apartment that you have, the size of the car that you have, or if you have a car, this all can contribute to your happiness. But that is only 10% of what happiness is. The bulk of what actually satisfies us and keeps us happy comes from what you choose to do. And if you do that, what fills you with energy, what truly engages you and helps you lose track of time, that gets you to fulfillment, the best form of happiness. Yeah. Many people share that meaning means to them through stories. For an example, we have an excellent story of a young Georgia Lee. She's a young woman who switched from being an analyst at a major consulting firm to being a filmmaker. Georgia didn't know what made her happy. A Chinese American, her parents wanted her to be a researcher or a doctor. Like typical, everybody wants their kids to go into these professional courses, right? And yet, when she filled out a spreadsheet of all the things that make you happy, we have these gradients that we rate um, each of the pointers in her life, what makes me happy. So she filled it out, and she realized that being the worst filmmaker in the world was still better than what was going to increase her happiness than being a CEO of a company or whatever success you can think of. Next is strength. Strength is the second part. It's not the skills, not what you're good at, but who truly you are. We all have strengths, but most of the times we focus on our weakness. We were raised to do that, right? And indeed, many of us want to be perfect and have, even at the ages of 30, 40, 50, or 60s, yet to accept and appreciate who we are. Not all of us come to that and be at peace of who we are based on how we judge how successful we are, or how successful people around us are, and we kind of compare. So I want you to do a little exercise of strength. First, everybody get comfortable. This is a small exercise, so you can just do it on your own. Get comfortable, take a breath, relax, close your eyes, and think back when you were little girls, and an activity that filled you with energy and joy. Can you think about all that? Yeah. So go a little forward till you were a teenager. What activities drew you then to fill your whole life and being with energy, with that you're doing something and you're losing track, you're forgetting what to eat, it excites you so much. So what are those things that drive you? Can you go back into those moments and recollect yourselves? And if you can think through the past year of your life, a high point at your work, at your school, or even at home. And in that moment, what do you see yourself doing? What is filling you with energy? Putting all these experiences together, we get what you value about yourself. These are your strengths. If you want to share in the comments, you can share your experiences. How did it feel? Okay, we don't have any response from anyone. Did it help you feel a connection with yourself or a lack of connection? Yeah, playing, talking. Yes, you are, meant to be a leader, Pinky. That's what it is, right? So we used to play a lot of games, right, when we were kids, organizing, and I remember being told, oh, nobody wanted to play with me because I wanted everything my way. I was too bossy. They just to chuck me out of the game plays or roles. But that's what shows leadership skills, right? But people don't encourage it because they think you're bossy, you're too dominating, get out of the way. So that is what it is. But if you feel a connection to what you thought of those days, forget about putting a lens of being good or not good. Does it give you energy? If it gives you energy, do more of it, and more every day, till you become more smoother at it. And before you know that, you will be using that as your strength. The third part of meaning is purpose. Many women, particularly young women of any age, tell, I don't have a purpose. How do I get a purpose? Or how do I choose a purpose? Oh God, is something wrong with me because I don't have a purpose? But in reality, it takes time to live out what you have, what you're meant to be or meant to do. So start living out into your strengths. Think about where your energy comes from and get in touch with what you were as a child, who you were as a young adult, and who you are today. In terms of activities that energize you, this will take you to your path in time. And if it takes you a long time, so be it, but you will find it. And more and more people are finding their purpose, their way of life as they grow. much more into adulthood, because okay, they have lived out their life, they have experienced it, and then they realize, okay, this is what my purpose is. And we're very thankful that we live in this time where our purpose drives us, and it is no longer an alien idea to live by your purpose, to drive and focus by your purpose, and to like recreate your purpose and be one with it. Yeah. So the key takeaway for the first principle of centered leadership of meaning is fulfillment. Fulfillment is the best form of happiness. Focus on your strengths, discover a path to find your purpose. What I would like to say is live with your purpose every day, even if it is for 5 minutes. If you're not ready to take a leap into it full time, just take 5 minutes a day. It will fill you with energy, and everyone around you will feel that new sense of purpose in you and the new energy in it, and it can get in so much of change. Ladies, if you guys have any question, you can please put it in the chat box. All right. Very high heel shoes and a crown. Oh yes.
Muzaffar will always be like that.
Yeah.
Even she
That's
get
a queen.
even she get a problem with her hips, she always do that.
Oh, that's so inspiring. It's basically, find your best form of happiness. Whatever gets you happy, gets you out of the day, gets you out of the picture or living in the picture, do it.
Azra, there's a question here for you. How to identify our strength in a leadership context and focus on it.
Yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So the next part of centered leadership is framing. Framing has three parts again. The first part is self-awareness. It's gaining awareness, seeing ourselves in the movie, especially in the moments of upset and challenge. The second is going to learn to pause, practicing self-awareness. It is to step out of the situation to determine what experience we would like to have. And third is learning how to adapt, to make the most of every situation, even if it is a difficult one. So going back to self-awareness. So think of self-awareness as you see yourself in the movie of your life in that moment, or as if you can step out and see, oh, this is what is happening to me, right? If you can recognize the symptoms, then you can do something about it. Say you are in a difficult situation, you're a leader, your people around with you in the team are not going with the focus and vision that you have, or you're not fulfilling what you need to do as a company. So you are in that tough situation. It's almost like, okay, everything is going around you. You're thinking, how do I handle this? So this is the movie of your life, right? So if you can step out of it and see what is happening, and then you can practice self-awareness. So you recognize the symptoms, then you do something about it. You also get in touch with your emotional state about what am I feeling at this moment. Think of a time when you were not at your best, when things have happened differently than you would have thought. When you're upset, maybe afraid, really angry, could be at work or home. We all have that, right? Now get curious. What about you in it is getting you triggered? How do you feel at the moment? What are the physical sensations you have right now? Is that your heart beating, or you feel redness coming into your face? What is the topmost emotion that comes out of you at that moment? I'd like to see some response in the chat for this. What are the emotions that come out when you have this kind of situation? Can people
Write down.
relate to that? Okay. Usually it's fear. But that's okay. That's because that's what it is triggered, fear actually helps us cope in difficult situations. It's a physiological reaction. That's what's really happening in your brain, at this moment. There is a little gland called amygdala, which is whipped into action. It triggers in you a pattern of fear and you have a reaction. This is called the amygdala hijack. It could be a fight mode. Notice whether you're getting angry or your voice is getting louder and faster, or suddenly you want to run away, get out of there. If you can't physically leave in the tough situation, you might notice that your mind and mind is disappearing or switching off or freezing. So in that moment, what is fear that you have that you need to do? The main thing needing to is, yes?
Sorry, there's a comment. She said she feels about insecurity.
Yes, insecurity. But again, why are you insecure? It's again insecure about you having the fear of not living up to expectation, or you're not doing what is right, or if you are not valued enough, right? So the main thing is needing to have control, yeah? Okay, I'll go on, yeah?
Yes, please.
Okay. So if you can't physically leave at that moment, think about stepping out of the whole situation, and what is that fear that you have, what you need to do. So then you can practice control, getting the fear out of you to maintain some level of responsibility. Here we would need to pause. Pausing allows us to get out of ourselves, calm down, take a breath, see what's going on, take a step back, get in touch with the center. In the end, it doesn't matter if you're at home or you're at a business meeting or you're with your friends or something is happening. What matters is for you to see the pattern. So there are many ways to pause. You could breathe deep, deep, take a long breath. Yeah. You could ask a question, say, okay, that's an interesting way to put it. And continue with the whole situation. Or you can in fact get in touch with what you truly want, and in doing what you can adapt. In doing that, you can actually adapt. Your behavior will change. You may not get the outcome that you so wish for, but you will get the experience that you choose. Even 24 or 48 hours later, you can react. You can make things better. But if you react at that moment, it might be a little bit out of control. So turning different situations into learning ones or even opportunities for you. Yeah. And when you let yourself pause in the moment, just amazing magic will happen. Try it. So the key takeaways from this, sorry, just a second, I pressed the wrong button and it's gone back. Okay, sorry about that. I pressed end and it went out. So what are the key takeaways from framing? So you practice self-awareness, learn to pause in difficult moments, adapt to make most of every situation. So get in touch with your fears and the needs that you have deep, deep down, and accept what they are. Get friendly with them, and then you will have taken back your power. You'll be ready to move on using your fears in most creative way to make it happen. And you will achieve what you most desire. Let me check if we have any comments on there. Reaction is better cold served. Yes, because you're giving an action in a different way and you're not reacting. Yeah, so you have better ways to come back to a situation to deal it much better. You have your emotions calm down, your fear is not playing in the foreground, and you are much more calm and composed and relaxed. Probably you can discuss the situation with somebody and get back to the whole situation. Yeah, that's a good one, Muzaffar. Thank you. So the next part is connecting. So it all starts with trust. How do you build trust-based relationships? Towards what purpose? Yeah. Have and then you're having a strategic. Oh. So then you have a strategic relation network and building community to help you achieve what you truly want to create. Finally, adding is sponsorship into connecting. Those powerful and senior people who can help you grow at an accelerated rate. So trust has 4 elements to its repertoire. First is reliability. Does the person that you trust to take you forward in your leadership journey, can they deliver? Can they be trusted to deliver? Next is congruence. This is very important. Does this person do and say what they believe, or in reality are doing and saying something else? The third piece is acceptance. People we trust accept us for who we are and not judge us at that moment. The fourth element is openness. Are they direct? Are they honest? Do they share their intentions? What they're thinking, their feeling, so we know where they are coming from, yeah? So when we put all these together, the person who we don't trust probably doesn't have all these 4 qualities. If you think of someone with whom you would like to establish greater trust, take a moment to think about the person and think of what you could do to inspire the same trust from them in you, which may be opposite to then what we think, right? We are always projecting our emotions of trust into somebody else. Okay, I trusted this person and this, and for this reasons. But do you reflect back and see the opposite of it? Like, okay, can I be trustworthy for these same reasons? So if that is that is where we should be going, but that's not how we normally think. So I would like you to go back and think of one person that you would like to trust and build this whole trusting relationship to go there in forward. Like I said, this is usually a workshop and I have a lot of questions and go back to it. So I've condensed this whole thing into just a small talk and a bit of interaction. So I would like you to write back and get back to me when this talk ends, and so that we can, if you're interested, we can go back into evaluating and seeing a different perspective in that. Okay. So next comes network and community. So this is all about connecting, right? So you're building trust, you're having a network and community going for you. So what is network and community? Imagine in your company or startup or in your school that you want to get the power of community on your side. It's important to first share what your values are, where you're going, you have a vision, and share it. When we all share a vision, as long as we have a strong sense of personal meaning to that, and we share that, we rise up together and make it happen. So when you have a purpose, share the vision and a purpose so that everybody can see to it and see the same way, yeah? So that is how you build community. Network is just a bunch of people, yeah? Now, network is just a bunch of people that you know. You can activate the network by being in touch, calling one another, and you can get a lot of network, especially if you think strategically. Like we have LinkedIn, right? I have like probably 1,000 connections, but the whole connection is just my network. It's not my community. But like I have a community in LeanIn Arabia is my community because people know me, they know what I stand for, what I think, and we collectively think, not always probably, but collectively think together sometimes, and we work towards it, like how me and Kadela are hosting this webinar, wanting with a vision of empowering women leaders, building strong leaders. So that is a sense of purpose, to get a network together into a community.
Exactly.
So so in other words, what it is truly want to make it happen or achieve together, or who you can help to help get their goals realized, or who can make it happen for you, is what a sense of community is. So once you connect that network to a shared goal, to a shared culture, you create an amazing community. It's so much powerful. It's less about telling everybody what you do and more about finding the source of meaning. For each of us, that makes us want to be a part of this group, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the next part is sponsorship. Now, this is so important. Let me tell you a story about this. This is like a really powerful story, yeah? So I went, I've always wanted to do bungee jumping. When I was back in college, I got a couple of friends of mine together. We went ahead, booked for it, and then I reached on top. When I went there, I sat down and there was fear in me. I'm like, okay, I can't do this. But then, we had an instructor there, like they help you, if you don't want to do it, okay, they say, don't do it, you can go back. But then they also know that you want to do that. So that you have come all this way, planned for it, felt for it, had this energy and vision of it, of wanting to do this. So you come there with a sense of purpose, and they know that they want to help you achieve that purpose. So there's one person there in that group. Usually that's the case of all these activities. Like even if you go to skydiving, imagine going in the plane high up, and you're standing with all your gear prepped, and then you look into that open door through the airplane, and you think, oh my god, I'm gonna jump into nowhere. Like, what do I trust? Who do I trust? Am I gonna get safe? But there's one person there just for the purpose of pushing you out of there because you want to do it. And that particular person is a sponsor that we all need. I don't know how much this resonates with you, but I have experienced it, and sees that I have done it. So this is the person who is a sponsor for you, who pushes you through that door, but that person also jumps out with you on the ground, so that even if you make a mistake, that person picks you up,
And
dusts you off, helps you get learning out of it.
I want to add something into that one as well. We as a women, especially if we're doing something for the community or something, we need someone like that. We need someone that pushes us and picks us up every time.
Yeah, for us to go and shine in the sun.
Thanks.
Sometimes we don't want to go there in the spotlight, yeah? We want to do it, but we don't want it because we think, oh, the spotlight's on me. But then you have somebody to say, nudge you gently, or push you, shove you, whatever works, right? Everybody has a different tolerance level. So this particular sponsor actually pushes you through that door to get where you are. And you also, if you have done a good job, which probably you have because you jumped from there, right? Tells everybody that you have done such a great job. And so many of us need that little push, yeah? So it is important to have a sponsor as somebody who not only creates opportunities, but actually helps you get it.
True.
Right? So how do you go about getting a sponsor? Now, one of my main reason of looking into connecting with the community like LeanIn when I came in was to get sponsorships and build your network and build communities and be part of it, so that we are all shining on each other and helping each other. So how do you go about it? This is a tough part about it, right? Because you have, everybody is so busy in their own career, in their work, at home. Nobody has the time to nurture and sponsor someone else. So if you have a community around you, or even your workplace, you can always look at somebody that that inspires you. You reach out to the person when you need some help and you need a push. Tell the person, can I get you a cup of coffee? I need some time of yours. I need this advice. So make that effort. Yeah.
And
So
sorry, and
yeah,
sometimes you also have to approach the person. If what else can you help them, for example, if you see someone that is really like shining or doing something for the good of other people, pick that person and push them into doing something like doing a workshop, doing a discussion forum, that it will practice their capabilities and their skills.
exactly, Kadila. Thank you. And like how you have asked me to do this today, that's actually being a sponsor for me. You are giving me a platform of
You
presenting
are great
this.
you are great in what you're doing, and that's why we just have to push each other for everything,
For everything. Thank you so much. I'll get you I get little gift. So that's like, I want to appreciate you. So if somebody is offering to I'll help you, or if you ask somebody for help, always appreciate that effort. And if you've done something really great, throw them an email, say thank you. I probably want you to know that this is what has happened as a result of you helping me and you sponsoring me. So it kind of builds a give and take relationship, then it only nurtures and grows from there. And thank you, Kadela.
welcome.
So no matter what your age is, something in your life is valuable to that person, right? So you got to deliver, you got to perform, and then you absolutely deserve that sponsor, like I just said. So you have more power than you think you have. When we need to think about this more creatively, more expansively, the people who can truly create opportunities for us and push us through that door. So that is what we need to be looking at in a sponsor. So these are the key takeaways for us from this part of centered leadership. So you build trust-based relationships. It's not just that you trust someone, you have to imbibe those qualities that you want to trust in somebody else, that people can trust you as well. You build networks and communities. You foster a relationship with possible sponsors. And in turn, you can sponsor someone else as well. So it practices a cascade effect. It's called a waterfall effect, right? That you are learning what you probably want from someone else as well. Then you can relate the gaps and how to ask for better sponsors and how to be a better sponsor for someone. And in turn, you're building your community, right? So
Yeah.
every relationship that we make is based on trust. So if you are thinking about a new relationship, start with yourself. Start with acceptance, openness, reliability, and congruence. We all deserve that sponsors. We all know that we don't have enough CEOs, women executives for us to go around, but that should not stop us, right? You can find anybody who can open opportunities for your growth, push you through that door, and take you there. And I'm sure there's so many people around your network or around your home or in your workplace who can do that. If you look, you will find them. The key is looking.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next part of centered leadership is engaging. Engaging is such an important part of centered relationship, because many women who are hesitant to engage, they're pretty much all of us are hesitant to engage. It's not that we don't have the courage, but we are afraid to speak up. We are afraid to raise our hands and get into something, into the ring. Yeah, we are afraid to sit at the table. That is where we are all trying to push, right? Sit at the table, lean in, get things done for you. So according to one evolutionary psychologist, it's believed that we are hardwired, in fact, to hold back. We are more risk averse because we want to be safe, we want to do the right thing. We do not want to take risks. If this sounds like you, sometimes it sounds like me as well, you understand that it is natural. But we need to get out of the comfort zone to be able to grow. So
Yeah.
this starts, it starts with presence, how we fill the room, and it goes on to ownership. After all, we take ownership of our experience that we most want to create around us. And finally, taking risks and actions to hope, to counter fear, using this whole thing to fuel our journey.
Yeah, I want to
So
add
what is
something.
presence? Yeah, go on.
Add something into this one too, Azra. Um, Life is about turning into different roads, whether you want it or not. You have to face the reality which is placed in front of you. So it's just a matter of you accepting, you know, what's
Yeah, accepting what is in front of you and choosing the best out of best for you.
yeah,
Putting
right.
the fear aside and saying, okay, evaluate both the options that you have. Okay, whatever seems good for me, my purpose serves my purpose, makes me feel happy at the end of the day, do it. That's
That's,
what it is all about, right?
yeah.
Okay, so what is presence? Presence is filling the room, stepping it to be heard and to be seen. It is getting grounded and it's getting centered. It's a time when you think of a time when you achieved something that you thought was not possible, or when you spoke up when your views were not heard. This is how we build presence. It's more about what you say. It's not more about what you say, but it is how you say it, how you hold yourself, and how you connect with people in both tangible and intangible ways. It's less about what you wear or how tall you stand and how far you are. And it's more about what your intentions are, what you must hope to create, and how to connect, put it across the room to everybody. If you have even a little bit of connection with every person in the room in a different way, you've succeeded in having your presence felt. So thereby, we gain the courage and hope to face the fear of change. We all have our experiences around it, right? We've been pushed to go up in a stage, talk about something impromptu, and what is that? But we know that as women and as individual beings, when we are pushed to outside our comfort zone, we always deliver. Why? Because we know how to deliver. Yeah. So think about those times when you've been pushed to stand up in the room and stand out in the room. What does it feel? I mean, how does it make you feel? Can somebody say anything about that? I'd like to see some comments here, please.
Pinky said that time to change that mindset. Also, going forward, we stop conditioning our children's mindset on this issue.
Yes, I'll come to that. We are always told not to be aggressive, not to be very competitive, be modest. So that's something that we'll deal with.
Vulnerability.
Yeah, vulnerable. So yeah, because you are afraid of being judged. You're afraid of putting yourself and probably risk failure, right?
Yeah.
Because you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
We
So
will
what happens is,
we will always be judged whether we are quiet or we're doing something.
or we are making a presence heard. So these are the times when you step, those times when you step out of a comfort zone and realize that we are out of a comfort zone. It's we are afraid, like it's like Supriya said, that we are vulnerable, right? It's so hardwired within us to hold back. Some researchers say that we are trained from an early age not to have ambition. So when we find somebody with ambition, we need to support it. Say that we need to get it out. like how Kadela said that we have to tell that, okay, go out in the front and stand there and be seen. Only by being seen that people notice you. If you stand back, you are present there, but nobody feels your presence. You're not seen.
See,
So don't hold back.
I'm still the same person. I have a platform, but I'm going and sorry, I'm working at the backside. I'm trying to get out from that.
Yes, but why do you think that's the case, Kadela? Why do you want to,
I think
stay in the
I
back?
don't want to say, I don't want to blame my culture or anything, because most people would say I'm like a pushback kind of thing, but a pushover. But in reality, I'm not. I am just, always thinking strategically, but I want to see people out there. I think I'm
Yes.
kind of like a leader that is will pushes someone to be there rather than me pushing myself in there. It's hard.
I will take this up with you again. Yeah. So when we find somebody with ambition, we need to support it and say, get it out in the front. I'm going to say that to you too.
Yeah.
Get it out there in the front, and you've run so many of these workshops and meetings. You need to be out there and presenting for us someday soon. So like you said, most of us like being modest, right? We always been told to hold back, like how Pinky was saying that, we've been told to do this, but as our generation goes, or if we have our offsprings, that's how the present generation is tuned, right? Do not hold back, do not be modest, go out there and shine in the world. So but your ambition, your competitiveness is a strength for you. It is not a matter of using, it's just a matter of using it in a right way. That is being productive. So this takes us to the
I want to add something into
next
that
point.
one as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think also your life is not about you all the time. It's about everyone else whose life you touch, Even
right.
if you're doing something and then you're touching someone, even one person that you can touch, it's an achievement, I think.
Yeah, yes, totally. And then, you know, uh, if you touch that one person, it's like 6 points of separation and connection, right? That one person can, propagate it to some other 6 people, and imagine the kind of lives that you're touched.
Yeah.
It is that kind of ripple effect that you are showing yourself, okay, go ahead and teach this, or showcase this, practice this, and somebody else will pick it up, and then they will tell other people, and that is how we propagate all these ideas. All right, so this gets us to ownership. Yeah, ownership is quite hard, particularly for young people to integrate. So ownership is not about the outcome that you so want to achieve, but it's about experience that you choose to have. And that happens when you own who you are and what you choose to do. I know so many people who have joined this webinar today want to live that life about, having to own up to their own actions, their strengths, their, what do you say, failures and successes are their own, because they have put their sweat and blood into it. And they take those back to themselves and say, okay, this is what I've done. I failed or I've succeeded, but this is me. Yeah. So ownership is hard because we always think it is about the other person. It's not about what happened at work that you couldn't prevent. But if you think in that manner, then that's lack of ownership. If you think you could not handle a situation and somebody else was to blame for it, it's lack of ownership. At the extreme, lack of ownership is being a victim. Who wants to be a victim, isn't it? It's not fun. So instead, shift what you want to create for yourself and for everybody around. So when you shift that whole stance, you are now the owner of the experience that you choose to create. You might not get the outcome that you so want. You might not see as being successful, but you are what you really like to be, and you have the experience of that what you like to have. And that is what the ownership is really about. So that takes us, when you take ownership, it takes us into taking risks and actions, because only by leaving our comfort zone do we in fact grow and achieve most of what we want to achieve.
Exactly.
We are always wanting to be comfortable, right, in a safe zone. It's a little boring, but we're really comfortable doing that. But in order to grow, in order to achieve, we have to leave it behind. When we do feel a tinge of fear. We do feel that, excitement or even a thrill. Now, sometimes you think, oh, I'm meeting somebody, I'm doing something that I've never met or never done, I'm having an experience which I never thought I would, or I'm picking up assignments which I don't think I could do. You know how it is, right? Women always, even if there are 4 skills listed for an assignment, even if they have 3 skills, they wouldn't go ahead and say, I want to do this assignment because I don't fulfill those 4 criteria. But men, on the other hand, if they just have 1 skill, they said, oh, I'll do it, I can bring the other 3 skills. Yeah. So that is part of their taking risk and actions, because men are taught to take risk, they're told to take actions, but women are told to be modest, be on the safer side, not take risk. So that is what we need to overcome. So, when you're in that journey of learning, you go and take the risk and actions, you are on a path of learning. But if we go too far out of our learning zone, we hit the terror zone, and this is where the learning stops. So if we don't have the courage, it's not that we don't have the courage, but we're afraid to speak up, we're afraid to ask for a raise, or get into the ring. We're afraid to go to our boss who probably doesn't like us and have a discussion about saying, oh, you know what, I've been working so hard, I want this raise, or I want these things in my work added to me, or I want this kind of support at my work because I deserve it. We do not want to go into those conflict situations, right?
Yeah.
So it's totally natural that you feel that way. To get out of this, we need to go back to our intentions. What is that we need out of this? What is that we want to create?
Mhm.
That might give you a special oomph to ask that raise, to raise your hand in the room, to pick up that new assignment that you want, or to in fact speak up to in a meeting filled with men. We all know these kind of situations, right? We all individually at some point of time have been there, like men full of in a room full of men, and we are probably 1 or 2 women scattered across, and you're so worried about raising your hand to even ask a question, thinking, oh, what will they think about it? So we have to get out of this mode of being, in the comfort zone. Get out of the comfort zone, take the risk and actions, raise your hands, and like how Sheryl Sandberg says, sit at the table. So all these things take a lot of courage, because as you know, fear can be greater than our willingness to take action. So I would like everybody to work on this as a small homework. About it's a small exercise that you can do at your leisure and think back and reflect. So everybody think about your next big challenge or an opportunity that you want to take at your work, or if even personally you want to learn something, or you want to excel in something. You have taken up a course, you're not completed it, you want to learn a new language, you want to go ahead and make a plan. So think about it. Okay. Now imagine that anything is possible. What you get when you take up a challenge, you grab that opportunity. Now ask yourself, what else can make happen? What else can you make happen? Now you compare the downside of not doing anything to at least taking an effort to start, right?
Yeah.
Now think about the downside being standing still, not doing anything. That is literally the opposite of what we tend to do, right? When you're evaluating the upside and downside of doing it, and the downside of not doing it. So usually what do? We usually go straight to the downside. They say that, okay, if I take this new job, I might fail. If I try to talk to my boss, he might not like it. He might demote me as well, yeah. Or he might yell at me. If I speak at that meeting, they might think I'm stupid. Then, when I think I have nothing to do, if I don't do anything, I might, preserve my dignity. I will be cool. Everybody will think that I'm smart, even though I'm not, right? These are the opposite values that you're always fighting about. Don't be that. Do the opposite. Do the unnatural. Do the upside and not the downside. This is this takes you a very different phase than where you are. So what are the key takeaways from this? This, I think, is the most exciting part of this whole workshop for me, because it fills me with so much of energy and joy. So the key takeaways are: fill the room with your presence, take ownership of your experience, learn to take risks and actions. Karela, do we have enough time? We are going in there?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, okay. So I'm rushing through actually, because I want to wrap up in time, though we are almost ahead. So this gets us to the last part of the centered leadership, uh, called energizing. Energizing, finding a balance for us. So energizing is the solution. It's not the only solution for work-life balance, right? It's about managing the ins and outs of our energy. Remember, all these 4 points gets us back into the last point called energizing. Remember, I spoke about it in the beginning when I was introducing this. It's all about our energy, right? Ins and outs. So what does it take us? Where is the balance? Yeah. So the first part is balance. It gives us energy, and it gives us what gives us energy and what drains it. And then we go to renewal and recovery. Renewal for long term, or renewal for long term of your leadership journey, and recovery for every day at work, at home. Imagine that you're recovering every day. And finally, choosing a sustaining practice that you commit to because you want more energy no matter what it is you choose to do. Just a minute, yeah. I'm drinking some water because you can't see me. So the first part, the first part is the work-life balance. We're never going to get it. We all know that, right? How much ever we advocate, we propagate, we try to do it, we're always, flipping one side the other, work and home life balance, because sometimes you need more energy in one space than the other. There is no hard and fast rule and cut it off that, okay, this is what, now I'm at work. A lot of people do it if their profession allows it, that they can cut it off and come back home and then be totally concentrated in home. But there are a lot of times when you cannot do it. So what do you do in those situations? In fact, most of the research shows that it's not possible to have a complete balanced work life. But if you switch the question about how I can manage to get my energy from and where does it go, that is something that you can answer and you can do something about. So this is your question. I have a question for you here. So where do you get your energy from?
Me, from the people around me. If I lost energy, I just have to call someone who will push me through.
Oh, that's an excellent way to do that. Anyone else? Let me look at the comments. Okay, so keep that in the moment. Keep that in your mind for a moment and think about. Sorry. So if you think about energy, you have 4 different ways that you can relate energy, right? Physical energy. This is where we first go typically. We also have mental energy, emotional energy, and spiritual energy. Spiritual energy does not necessarily be religious. It's just about what gets you and where you get to meaning for your life. So you need to be able to fill up as much as you drain if you want to get to the end of the week, especially at work, and with some time to spare for your weekend life. Yeah, because your weekend is where much of your life again happens. You're trying to recover and recollect for the whole week and plan for the next week. Yeah, so because after all, life is all about work and what happens after work, right? So whatever you choose to do with it, think about recovery in long terms, in terms of energy. The second thing is recovering when you have high energy and things. See, when we talk about recovery, we talk about many things, like people actually doubt that we even need to recover, because they say, oh, we don't have the time for recovery, I have more things to do. If I take some time off, I might just not complete my task on time. But in fact, when you have high energy and things are really going well for you at work, positive energy, that really changes it. So how do you feel, when we are like highly energized, we think, oh yes, I need to get this going. Yeah, it's so enthusiastic. So these are the different ways that you show energy, right? You have high energy, but you're so negative. You're like, oh, I need to do this, I need to do this now. And then when you have low energy but negative, like, oh yeah, I need to do this now. And then we get stuck there. Yeah, this is where we get stuck most of the times, because we tend to procrastinate and tend to stack it up, because our energies are low, our mood is low. Like, okay, I need to get these things done. In the end, it's not going to get us anywhere. It's just going to push us to being very sad or depressed. And then when we are in low energy but we are positive and thinking, oh, I need to get this done, but we somehow push ourselves to get done. Yeah, so this is where we need to be in order to go back to high performance. We need to be, if we are in low energy but feeling positively, take a deep breath, reset your mind for a while and go back into high performance. So when we can do this to ourselves in recovery in 5 or 10 minutes every day, in the morning or in the afternoon, even if we don't have enough time for lunch, we can practice recovery. There are many ways to practice recovery. One of the most useful ways, even I have found, is what Karela just said. Get hold of a person, find time and talk it out. Yeah, but during the work, I also found using lunchtime to gather some colleague of mine, whoever it is, a male or a female colleague, discuss few things. Okay, take your mind off, get another perspective. So that's also a way of recovering. You get that 5 minutes, you talk it out, you do that. You have that excitement getting. So we can do that. So otherwise, we can actually go ahead and do a physical exercise, take a stair of steps, climb up, come down very slowly. So there are a lot of women who says, the more angry I have, the more steps that I do, and the more faster I come down. But take the more steps up, but take time to come down. Because every time you take that physical action of taking a step down, it relaxes you mentally. So, and when if you count down from 10 to 1 slowly, it actually puts you in a physical deep sense of relaxation in your mind. Also, when you go take a walk during your lunch break, it energizes you, right? Walking actually clears your mind. Or you can sit quietly and clear your head and do some deep breathing. All right. Or if you're spiritual, go for a prayer. I used to go for prayer breaks here. Dubai is such a wonderful place. You have prayer rooms everywhere. I would go sit in quiet, contemplate if I'm having a tough time, because I work a lot in IT sales in a high pressure job. So sometimes your manager is always yelling at you, your pipe is not good, your customer is not closing, you're not dealt this stage of sale. So it's always time to go reflect, sit in the prayer room. Even if it's like 5 time, I would take time within my lunch break. And that's why we have those breaks, right? To rejuvenate ourselves. Even the mid-morning breaks, the coffee breaks, don't have coffee at your table all by yourself and doing more work. Go talk to somebody who's free or sitting and wants to share the coffee with you, discuss. So this also keeps your energy going. But this all depends upon how you are. So another thing that you can do to energize yourself is gratitude. Yeah.
Exactly.
Sharing gratitude is a very, very powerful and spiritual way of really reconnecting with yourselves. And also thanking someone for something they have done really fills you up with purpose. Yeah. And it fills up a lot of purpose with joy, with you who's sharing it and the person who's receiving it. I have a very simple thing to share. I think Summer is on the webinar today. We run this, Summer runs book club, a community where we read books and discuss every week. And one day, she was very touched with something that I complimented, and she shared something. She shared her gratitude towards me, and I should tell, oh, it filled me up with so much of joy that she actually took time to write to me, and it was so powerful. I actually shared that with one of my friends, saying that, oh, Summer shared that to me, and I'm so touched, and I feel so good about it. It always helps to share your gratitude.
Bravo, Samar.
Yeah, I could clap for you, but we don't have it open for everyone, the mic, because we're trying to get through the time. Yeah, you can probably unmute Summer and ask her. So so when a lot of women have a lot of other things that they go through with. So this is something that I actually included specifically, so that because it works to a lot of people, you can write down what you are not feeling good about, and chuck it down. You can write what you're grateful for if you cannot express it in person, as specifically as you can. So rather than my family and things like that, you can keep going about somebody that is helping you at work, somebody who's probably driving you to work, or helping you at home with kids or with cooking or anything, right? So when some women go through the gratitude with a lot of wine, some go through with flowers, some with chocolate, some with just saying thank you. But whatever works, whatever takes, do it. Okay. So the more things that you're grateful for in your life, you are filled up with it. Yeah. It fills you with more energy, and it fills you doing it sometimes even doing it physically, go help somebody or do some charity work, something like that. That also gives your physical energy going. All right, so the other things that you can do is like I said, uh, talking. Yeah, so we can all do this. So just for the record, renewal renewal and recovery is for long term. Yeah, so renewal is a long term recovery. Lots of us say, if I just work really, really hard through the week, because then I can rest to the weekend, or I'm going to take a vacation 3 weeks, so I'm going to focus this whole time and work more. I'll be fine. I don't need to sleep, or I don't need to um, rest. But that does not really work. We need to practice recovery daily and then renewal periodically in order to perform and be at our best. Go for a spa, go for probably a brunch with your friends. Take that time, take some me time every weekend. And like I said, renewal recovery every day. Take that 10 minutes in the mornings. Set a routine, breathe deeply. Think, one of these practices that I do in the morning when I wake up is, I wake up, I don't look into my phone, I don't look into any of these devices. Of course, I take my phone and put on some meditation music and do some 10 minutes meditation, because that helps me recover. So I do the same thing if I'm at a stressful day at work. I take that 10 minutes, like I say, contemplate and meditate. All right, so this is small ways where we can recover, and I don't see any reason why we cannot use this and make it work for us. Yeah, but most of the times we think, if I stop and take a breath, I won't get much done. We also think we are letting other people down or embarrassing ourselves, right? But don't think about all these things. These are just the fears that bind us. If we shift our mindset to something that we like you say to yourself, If I take recovery, I'll be in high performance mode most of the times. So I'll get more work done. I'll be more productive and I'll be more successful. I'm sure many people agree to that, agree with me to this, because we all have known that, right? Every time we are working out and we are physically fit, it also keeps our mental level very alert. Where if you're in a high mental alert state, you are actually getting more things done in a focused way, and the results show up, right? So this is a cycle that we need to follow. Like if you think that it's not required, it's not necessary, it's absolutely incorrect, you probably need to change and try it out. I know somebody that who does this, every day they come back from work, they're so tired, they don't have energy to even go work out. I keep telling, like, go work out, you'll feel more energetic. Probably the first day, the second day, third day, you will be a little more tired, you will, but then you can see the shift in the energy and see how much more energetic you are gonna be. So take that step, okay? And just to just to back us up in all the renewal and recovery, we need to have a sustaining practice. So what is sustaining the practice? It's something very actionable, it's a specific thing to do for the time of the day and how you're going to do it. You actually also identify what are the limiting mindsets that you have in your way to think, and think of who can support you and how you can get that support. Probably a friend is supporting you, how you can get them to remind that you need to support. And an excellent practice here to have, what do you say, there's a term called partners, yeah. You have a buddy who helps you get through your whole, yeah. I'm forgetting the term that you have. It's a reliability partner. Um, oh, the term, I'll come back to it because there's so many things going on in my head. So get somebody to remind you if you are not remembering to do this practice, or put an alarm every day. Think, okay, I need to breathe, I need to relax, I need to do this, I need to go for a walk, I need to do yoga, whatever helps, yeah. And then you can see that whatever you expect to see yourself, it will happen, okay? So have a sustaining practice every day, like in the morning or in the afternoon. Don't let anything stop it, because this is for your renewal and for your recovery. Your recovery is as so much important, like as stressed all the way. So what are the key takeaways from this? All right, balance your energy sources and uses of it. Find 10 minutes a day for recovery. Look for opportunities for deeper renewal. Choose a sustainable practice to energize yourself each day. All right. Now, more than anything, it is also important that you give yourself permission to recover every day at work or at home, even if it's for 10 minutes or less. Yeah. Creating a sustainable practice for yourself. This is going to put you in a very high performance mode, so much more than you can realize and think, and most of the times, and that you wouldn't even know how beneficial it is. This is so powerful. So these are the um, 5 points of centered leadership, about how it gets us back into being a centered leader, why most successful leaders are at that peak at success because of all these things. Because every time they are pushed to the limits, they center and come back, renew and energize themselves, so that they can focus on how they frame and how mindful they are, and how to get back into the center. So like I said, this is a complete workshop by itself. Each of these points have a huge exercises and takeaways to be done. Like I asked few of the things to write down and reflect back upon. And we can, if people are interested, we can run more detailed, each 5 points workshop in them, so that they're going in deeper and see how to connect, how to find meaning, how to frame themselves in a deeper level. I'm open to that, probably as a follow-up. will give my details of connections, or you can ask Adela. So as an introduction, like I introduced myself, I'm a co-network leader for Leanin Arabia. Leanin is an organization, it's a community that is run world over to help find women's sisterhood in practices in growing and accommodating and building bigger communities among themselves. So I'm part of it. I run the Leanin Arabia chapter along with Hanan, and we have a special circle called Lean In Without Falling Over. There are many more circles within our network, and you can join our circle out here. Kadela is an integral part of our community here, and she's arranged for this. And thank you all for joining me today. I hope this was very useful, and I hope you all use it to become better leaders. If you are, or if you're aspiring to be a leader, how to become a centered leader and have that aspiration going for you all the time. Kadela, I think Patricia had a question in the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Patricia, are you still there?
Patricia, yes, she's there.
What was the question? I'm a little dry throat now. So if we have any more questions, probably we can just check them.
It wasn't a question. She just said something about invest time in doing things like read, sports, and meditate.
Okay. So Patricia asked how to identify strength in a leadership context and focus it. Yeah. So basically it goes on to the meaning and purpose, right? What are your strengths that it energizes you? Sometimes leading in the front energizes, sometimes getting together as a part of community energizes us. So we need to find out what kind of leadership value we imbibe and want to give out, right? So that's how you find your strength in how you lead.
Oh yeah, that's right. How to identify our strength.
Okay, what else do we have? Gratitude, yes.
Maybe they can unmute themselves and ask questions as well.
Yes. Yeah, you can, I think we've muted everyone, so we can unmute. Anybody else has anything to ask?
Patricia said that she was trying to respond.
Okay, I think we've already answered that. Thank you, Maria. Thank you, Patricia. Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, Supriya. Thank you, Muzaffar. Thank you, everybody. Like I said, you can join our circle there if you want, and we host meetings, workshop discussions every third Tuesday of the month. We are on summer break right now, but we'll be going back. And again, Kadela is a part of, integral part of the whole circle, and you can get back to her if you want to join us.
Yeah, we'll invite them.
10 minutes to pray, meditate, and thank. Yeah, I do that. Like I said, I have a sustaining practice that I meditate in the morning every day, no matter what. Yeah, invest time in doing things. Yeah, like to read, sports, meditate. Yeah, all these things help you recover and renew. Especially sports, something that you really like, because it can get a lot of competitive nature out as well. It always helps to have a competitive sports in your daily life, like go play badminton or run, gets your adrenaline going and makes you feel good. Yeah.
Thanks, Azra. Great content and very.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shara. So.
Yeah, thank you, Kadela, for hosting me and giving me this opportunity. I'm so grateful to you. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We will close this session now, and have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much, Azra. It is very insightful, and yes, we pick up many things out of it.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, I think there's no questions from the others. We will be posting this anyway in the YouTube channel, which is International Women Entrepreneurs Society YouTube channel. So it will be there probably by the end of this week. So you can reach us anytime.
Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Bye-bye. Let me try starting the
Be
video.
safe, everyone. And yeah, be safe, everyone, and take care.
See you again sometime next week. Yeah. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Did you join?
Yeah, some still there.
Yeah. I'm also still there in the other one. I didn't realize.
Oh, who's that? That's Joan. Bye, everyone. Be safe. Thank you, Azra.